And I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. If you look ugly, if you look crazy, that's all on you, baby.
If you want to get more hot, you want to learn how to be hotter, you need to start hanging around other hot girls.
When I take this off in the morning, my lines will be gone.
They're seriously gone.
Good morning, guys. I used a new mouth tape today.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but put your red light mask on.
Gotta keep those wrinkles away.
Social media just makes us feel like there's always something we could be improving. You really can't go on the internet without seeing an endless amount of morning routines, skincare routines, nighttime routines, glow up routines, how to get out of bed at 5 a.m. routines. And I'm not gonna lie, I love watching these videos too. But can I also just say that some of the beauty advice that I've been seeing lately, especially on TikTok, is completely out of control.
How to get a nose job while you sleep.
I refuse to be friends with ugly people, and none of my friends are ugly.
So they always say that straws give you mouth wrinkles. So this straw literally is trying to prevent that. You just put your mouth right on top.
I feel like in the last 4 years, beauty advice has gone from don't forget to put your sunscreen on to don't forget your 8-step nighttime routine that involves 2 cleansers, a couple of moisturizers, and even red light laser therapy.
I go to bed like this so I can wake up like this.
Welcome back to 30 Ways I'm Leveling Up My Life in My 30s, Skincare Edition.
The content that we consume has an incredible influence on what we think, what we believe, what we buy, and even sometimes how we feel about ourselves. And according to influencers, we need some help. We need a good glow up.
Here's how you're gonna have a glow up in 2025, but I'm gonna be brutally honest. The step number 1 is gonna be stop hanging out with bums.
If you are not going to bed this ugly, you are doing it wrong.
This is how you're gonna become boy pretty and not just girl pretty. You know, the girls that all the guys love and literally look like they were made for men. I'm gonna show you how to achieve that.
It seems that the more influencers we have, the more beauty routines we have. And the more beauty routines we have, the more time and money we spend on things that we actually don't need. We also have TikTok Shop now, which motivates influencers more than ever before to promote an endless amount of beauty products, leading to even longer and more complex skincare routines.
It's my nighttime routine for glass skin. So I go in with a cleansing balm. Tonight I'm using LMS to remove my makeup. Then I use Jan Marini Bioglycolic Cleanser. I put it on dry skin, wash it off with a damp washcloth. Then I use her vitamin C. Then I use SkinCeuticals PTOX. This is the new product I was talking about. Then I use Jan Marini BioClear Lotion. It has 3 acids. Then I use her Rosalieve for redness and her transformation cream. It has benzoyl peroxide, followed by Clarins Double Serum. And then I lock it in with the Jan Marini transformation cream for that dewy, hydrated look.
The amount of work and money that goes into these routines is a lot. A cleanser, a moisturizer, a toner, a couple of serums in the morning. But even that doesn't seem to be enough anymore, because now your skincare routine has to last all night long.
Good morning, guys. Put my bonnet on, my skin garment, and then my mouth tape on. So good night, guys.
The morning shed routine is one of the latest self-care trends on TikTok. This is a routine that basically involves layering on an excessive number of beauty products before you go to sleep. It claims that it will help you to wake up looking refreshed with beautiful, flawless skin. And the official slogan for this trend is, the uglier you go to bed, the prettier you'll wake up.
I don't make the rules. The uglier you go to bed, the hotter you wake up, and that is a science.
Wrinkle patches and face tapes have become hugely popular on TikTok recently. In the past, you would only use them for under-eye treatments, but now people promote them to be used on your forehead, your neck, and even your chest. And people actually go to bed with them, as it apparently stops your skin from wrinkling up while you're sleeping. Creators often claim that it's a great alternative to Botox.
Honestly, I don't really understand how or why it works. I just know that when I wake up in the morning, my fine lines are gone.
Maybe it's just me here, but I think the way it works is that she didn't have that many visible wrinkles on her face to begin with. What do you think? Of course, it should not come as a surprise to you that all of the videos that you've just been watching have either been sponsored by the beauty brand directly, or the influencer has some sort of commission link to the product that they're promoting. I think a lot of these influencers must have just figured at some point, why stop at just promoting a nightly moisturizer when you can earn an even bigger commission by adding wrinkle patches, face masks, mouth tapes, jaw straps, lip masks, and face tapes to their daily beauty routines. It just seems all very dishonest to me, especially when you play on people's insecurities regarding aging. Look, I'm not a hater and I'm not making this video to blame or shame any of these creators. I totally get that everyone has to make a living in today's difficult economy, but can we all just take a step back for a moment and acknowledge that the self-care community has gone from telling us don't leave the house without any sunscreen on and drink more water to you should be using at least 6 different products before you go to sleep, and that's just on your face. I haven't even talked about any of the latest oral and nail care routines that are currently being promoted to us. But thankfully, there are a few beauty influencers left in this world that just want to help us out and give us beauty advice completely for free in case you don't want to spend all of your hard-earned money on all of these products.
Is your constant phone usage causing you to have a premature turkey neck? Let's reduce that. Firmly place your hands on your chest, stick your tongue out, seal your lips tightly around your tongue, slowly lift your head up and start shifting your tongue from left to right to left to right.
Today is the day I'm going to tell you how I learned to stop using the muscles in my face. This is one of my most asked questions. When I was in high school and when I would get home from school, I would sit in front of my mirror and I would practice having a full-blown conversation with myself, being happy, sad, angry, mad, everything, without using the muscles in my face, hoping that in the future, 30-year-old me, 40-year-old me would not have wrinkles and would be able to talk and be happy. If you want to learn how to do it, sit in front of the mirror, just try and practice. It took hours. I'll admit it took hours, but it is worth it, I'm telling you, and it's possible.
According to TikTok, aging is disgusting. Honestly, I have never felt more insecure about aging until I go on TikTok.
Avoid repetitive or exaggerated facial expressions. Everyone says that it looks like I have Botox. I don't, but it's because over the years I have avoided moving any muscle in my forehead. I try and not smile too much with these lines on my eyes unless I'm really happy. I can't help it.
So basically what she's saying is that if you find something funny, you can smile, but make sure it's not too much, because ideally you don't want to age your face by showing too many human emotions, right? Guys, laughing too much is kind of a problem if you want to look young and snatch. So whoever is still laughing in 2025, just stop. Dermatologist Dr. Farzan on TikTok says it's definitely not worth it. You don't want to ruin your face by laughing too much. Okay, but on a more serious note, let's look at the bigger issue at hand here. We all tend to fall into the comparison trap. One of the big problems is that we no longer compare ourselves to just the people around us, but instead we compare ourselves to everyone that we see on social media. We compare ourselves to people we don't even know in real life. And of course, we only ever see the versions of them that they decide are good enough to be seen.
Get ready with me while I show you my clean girl routine. Starting off strong, let's do my bubble toner. ASMR.
What I find worrying about today's online beauty content is that even young girls are already adopting skincare routines that are totally inappropriate for their age. I know these are extreme cases, and it's not the fault of the beauty influencers or the beauty industry at large that these young girls are getting hooked into the self-care culture, but it does just show us how quickly we can get influenced by what we see online. The reality is that there's never been so much pressure on us to constantly look and feel our best. And I think especially as women, we tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves when it comes to our appearance. Maybe it's just me here, but can I just say that just because some of us are not constantly obsessively focused on the aesthetics of every single part of our bodies doesn't mean that we're neglecting ourselves. However, this seems to be exactly what social media is telling us all the time.
Being ugly is a choice.
You need to stop breathing through your mouth. Scientifically proven, mouth breathers are the ugliest people on earth.
When we see content of cozy looking skincare routines, we can often feel like we have to level up and buy into all of these products. I mean, it's just really beautifully shot and visually so seductive, and I think it's quite normal to feel a little inspired by it all. But I do think we should perhaps recognize these self-care routines for what they actually are, just beautiful aesthetic content, instead of letting these kinds of videos drive our compulsive consumerism all the time. I know I've criticized a lot of the beauty routines that I've shown in this video, but I really don't want to criticize anyone for feeling like they need to use them. I just don't think that a lot of these beauty routines are promoting real beauty if it is actually making us feel worse about ourselves. The truth is that social media can often give us new insecurities about ourselves that most of us didn't even have before. And that's not just my opinion. That's been found by many recent studies on this topic. Research has shown that constant exposure to curated and idealized images of beauty on social media can lead to feelings of low self-esteem and anxiety, and can have a profound impact on girls' mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. Personally, I think we should all just do what we feel most comfortable with and what is right for us. I really don't necessarily think it's a bad thing wanting to evolve and change and become a better version or a more attractive version of yourself. That's not what this video is about. I hope this video can just be a gentle reminder to us that these extreme self-care and beauty routines are just a distraction at the end of the day. You know, I also still buy skincare products and I also have a daily skincare routine, but I think it's also extremely important to value what normal women really look like and embrace that and feel good about that. Well, with that being said, please let me know in the comments what you think of today's beauty routines or the things that you've struggled with the most in the past. I'd be very curious to know. And if you're interested in hearing more about my own personal struggles that I had with the world of self-care, you can watch this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.